Non-farm payroll, baby. It's non-farm payroll this week. What's the dollar going to do? How we're going to trade it? We're going to speak about all those details right in this video. I'll see you right after this. Alright traders, as you can see, I've got my cigar right here. I've got my t-shirt saying Papa G. I have just become a grandfather this week. In fact, it happened last night. So, feeling a little old right now. But we're not going to talk about me. We're going to talk about the markets right now. We've got the non-farm payroll coming out this week, which is going to be an absolutely boring news report, like it is every single month. First Friday of the month, we have the non-farm payroll. It hasn't been exciting. The markets haven't really moved. It hasn't been giving us these big opportunities. But we're going to take a look and see how the market's setting up with trade opportunities this week and which currency pairs should we be paying attention to. So let's go ahead and take a look at the details. I'm going to put this down right about here. And let's go ahead and jump into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so starting firstly, we're going to go ahead to the dollar index itself, see how the dollar index is set up. Then we'll go into the currency pairs that I'll give you a topic of conversation. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look right here. So jumping into the dollar index. Dollar index at the moment right now, as you can see right here, we are expecting dollar to continue to fall all the way back down south towards this trend line. So we've got a long ways to go before we can get there, and so we're going to be expecting that to happen. Now, could the dollar go ahead and rally? Could we see a rally in the dollar? Yes, we could. There's nothing stopping the dollar from rallying, but we are anticipating, based on the way the market's set up right here, to anticipate the dollar to fall. Now, what we like to do every time we see this type of setup right here, we like to go into the smaller time frames and break it down so we can actually go ahead and look for the opportunities on the smaller time frames based on what we've seen on the larger time frames. So let's go ahead and dig into those details right now. Okay. All right. So the fact that we've actually identified that we've got an opportunity already on the dollar index that is expecting maybe dollars to fall means that if we go into the news, and here is the news right here, and we take a look at the calendar for this week, we can see that we've got ADP numbers coming out in the mid part of the week on Wednesday, and that's going to give us almost like a forecast of what we can expect coming out on Friday. Now, the ADP numbers are showing 620K. That's big. That's a lot higher than what we had previous, 330. That's double what we had the previous, almost double. So which means that the non-farm payroll could also be an upside expectation. If we look over here, 750K to the previous 900. That's not really double. It's actually below. So the non-farm saying no, we should be expecting lower numbers, but the ADP number saying no, we're expecting higher. We'll see on Wednesday if that's true and how that reflects on Friday. Also, what's important as well is, of course, the unemployment rate. That should continue to drop as people are going back to work, and that should start dropping. And then we also should see the average earnings. We want to see the average earnings increase in value. All right, we want to see that increase in value. So we want to see the average earnings go from 0.3 to 0.4 to 0.5. We want to see that starting to increase. At the moment right now, it's showing it's a decrease. So if I look at what the forecast is set out for this week, for the non-farm payroll for Friday, it doesn't look good for the dollar. Now, does that line up with the technicals? Do I see that lining up with the technicals? Do we see the same sort of setup based on what I'm seeing technically, based on what I'm seeing fundamentally? Does that line up and make sense? Well, let's take a look and see. So if I go into the chart right here, let's go ahead and open up dollar index. So we've already said that we're expecting dollar index to fall. Now, if we go down to a lower time frame like the 1 hour, and you look at the 1 hour right here, you can already see that we're looking at wave structure, right? Look at this right here. You can see that we can see that the market's gone ahead and moved all the way back down here, giving me a nice little wave one. Then we had a pullback. All right, it wasn't a very, it's like a bit of look at this. We had a rally, dip, rally, and then dip past the lows right here. So we had a breakout eventually. And it broke out of this level. Let me go ahead and use this. All right, so we had a breakout of that level. Price come back to retest it. So we're looking for price to continue to weaken on the dollar. Now, could the dollar strengthen a little bit before it weakens? Yes, it can. But that might be in the short term. All right, we may just look for the next couple of days, looking for a little bit of dollar strength. But I believe as we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're going to start seeing some downside move. Now, remember, the news comes out on Wednesday. We have news coming out on Wednesday, ADP numbers that could give the market some movement. And then we have Friday. So we've got 2 days where we could see the dollar start to react. And so based on what happens on Wednesday, Thursday, late afternoon, evening, as we're heading into Friday, might just be a little bit more trendy. But then when we come into the non-farm on Friday, then we may see some choppiness based on what the market's revealing in the news. So it's a tricky situation, but at the same time, what's great about technical analysis is technical analysis can help us identify the trade opportunity. All right, let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. So if I go to let's go ahead and take a look at, and I'm going to go to US dollar CAD. Take a look at the US dollar CAD right here. Now, if you look at US dollar CAD, you'll see here that we have this big bearish move to the downside. Big bearish move right here. Boom. Then we had a rally. Then we had a dip, but we still at the support level right here. Now we've broken through the trend line, but we're still at that support level. Let me dig it a little bit closer up here. And actually, I'm going to move it to a daily time frame first. Let's go look at a daily because it'll make a lot more sense on the daily right here. Okay. All right. So if we look at the daily right here, we had this big U-turn right here. We had the market rally up, retest, and we actually spoke about that last week. We said that we're expecting some sort of correction move in the dollar index before it actually goes ahead and hits south. Now we are at the support level right here, and you can see right here we're actually range bound. If you take a look at the way the market stopped right here last week and gave us a bit of support there, we're not really breaking through that either so far. And so there is this chance that we may see a little slight dollar recovery over the next couple of days, and then we're going to start seeing a sell-off. We're going to still anticipate the dollar to go ahead, or at least the dollar CAD, to go ahead and break below this trend line and head back down south, which means dollar weakness overall. So dollar rally in the short term, maybe up until Wednesday. Thursday could even continue up until Thursday. And then Friday could be the big day where if it takes out that high, we're absolutely going to anticipate price continue to fall back down south and break through the trend line. Now, if I go to the details here on the chart, as I move it down to a 1 hour time frame, let's take a look and see what that looks like. This is what it looks like right here. This is the range that we're in right now. Okay, so let's mark that off. So we got support over here, and then we got resistance up at the top. So there's a good chance that price is still going to want to retest at least the 382 bounce of this downward swing, which means it's got to take out that high. Now, if you look at if you take a look at the target right here from where price is trading right now, and price is right over here, we're looking at approximately another. Let's see here. From there, let's take it from here. We could look at approximately about 97 pip rally. So we could expect about a 97 pip rally in the US dollar CAD before we start seeing a sell-off. So in the short term, so this is great because this helps traders to be able to identify what trade opportunities they have for this week's trading, right? For this week's trading. So you've got about a 97 pip opportunity to buy on US dollar CAD. But once that's run up, then it's almost like the well's dried up. Then you're going to start looking for other opportunities. And based on the news that's coming out and based on what we've seen in the technicals, we're now then anticipating US dollar CAD to sell off. So when you've completed that 100 pip move to the upside, now you've got to start thinking about a bearish move. What is the number right here? Take a look at the we got let's see here. The price here is going to be at around about 127.09. So we're going to see the market rally up to 127.09. Now I'm going to say this, all right, small disclaimer. I'm going to say that I'm not saying that at 127.09 we are automatically going to turn around and hit back down south. You still got to go ahead and use signals and use whatever you use to trade various signals. Go ahead and look for those signals around about that level. So once the market hits 127.09, then you revert back to your shorter time frame and look for the signals that you use based on your strategy you use, and start looking for sell signals only, because then we're going to be anticipating price to move back down south. Now, let's go back here. So we could see on the US dollar CAD, we could see price moving up about 100 points. And from 100 points, we're going to start wearing out of those buys and start moving into more of a sell position once we get into 127.09. Now, that's what we're seeing here on the US dollar CAD. Let's go ahead and see if we can see any sort of reference on any other currency pair, all right, that is also traded against dollar. And I'm going to go to, let's go to pound US dollar right here. Take a look at pound US dollar. I think pound US dollar is really interesting. Okay, and the reason why I think it's interesting is because if you look at the long-term outlook right here, and let's go to the daily chart, you can see right here, and I'm just going to go into the midterm actually, not the long-term, but take a look over here. You can see how the market has moved sideways. It's bouncing back and forth between support and resistance. And so this is really easy to trade, because when the market dropped back down to support right here, we already started buying. We started buying a week ago. We're up about 130 points on that. But now that we're at that point, is it possible that the market will continue to move north? And the answer to that is yes, it can. These are the reasons why. If you take a look at the smaller time frame, once again, we've already looked at the dollar index. We've already established that the dollar index is anticipating upside movement, right? Now, if we go down to the lower time frame, and I'm going to shake it down to a 1 hour right here. And if you take a look at the 1 hour, what we have to look at is there is that overall big swing. There it is there. You can see there. And that overall big swing does take us all the way back up to the top of that resistance. But if we go down to the smaller time frame, the smaller swings, we'll zoom in a little bit here. And what we're looking over here is this. So price moved up all the way up here to the top. Okay, let's go grab that. All the way up here to the top. And if I look at this wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Sorry, I actually got to go all the way up here. All right, so now price has completed its 5-wave structure all the way up here to the top. And so we did see a pullback. All right, the pullback came down here to roundabout, let's see here, pullback to a 5-0 retracement right here. So we pull back to 5-0, but look how it's struggling right here at the top. Right, we're still struggling to keep above that level. So which means that there's a good chance that this might be ending up to be what we call an irregular flat. An irregular flat is where a price goes ahead and moves into a retracement, but then takes out the high, like we've just seen now, and now comes back into the swing high and low, and then goes back into the swing high and low, but then goes into a deeper correction move. Something like this. Does this. Takes out the high, which you're seeing over here. Now it's going to come back down and take out the low right here and possibly go to 618 pounds and then turn around and hit back up north. So again, it's telling me that don't be surprised if we see some dollar strength over the next couple of days, even into Thursday. But then as we go into Thursday, Friday, late Thursday, Friday, this may change and turn around to be something different. Because even with the ADP numbers, if the ADP numbers come out as expected, that's good numbers. So maybe we're going to see some rally in the dollar. But that may not sustain itself because the non-farm pair is not reporting good. The forecast is not reporting a good forecast, and so that may just be the turning point right here. So this is remember, this is all speculation, and it's connecting the dots with fundamentals and of course with technical analysis. And so as I go into the chart right here, what I'll be looking for right now is I'll be looking for the pound to break back down below, take out the low right here, and then at that point, I'd be looking to buy. I'll be buying right here. So as price takes out that, buying, I'm going to go buying below this level. Oh, all right. Oh, goodness. All right, buying below this level right here. Okay, so that I'll be looking to buy below that level. Now, why buying below? Because once it takes out that level, this is going to be my buy zone. From that low to this 618 right here, this area is going to be the buy zone. This is where I'm expecting the price to turn around and head back up north. And I'm looking for it to rally up all the way up to the 1.618. So I will be looking for a target from, let's say, from the 618 bounce right here. I'll be looking for at least about, let's take a look here. That shows us that we've got at least about a 2,000 pip rally. All right, so we've got a 2,000 pip rally back up towards that, what level is that? At 138? 138.66. Oh, sorry, not 2,000. I mean 200. Sorry, my bad. 200. We're looking for at least a 200 pip rally to the upside from about 136 to 138. Okay. All right. Now, let's go ahead and take a look right here. If we're looking at this setup right here, all right, sorry, I just wanted to see something here on this level. Okay, so if we want to go ahead and look for opportunity, what we got to look for right here is there's two opportunities here. All right, one opportunity is for those traders that want to actually trade the counter move to what we're currently seeing right now. So you could look at this and say, if price does not trade back above 137.66, we could absolutely want to trade it back down south to take out the low. So there could be an opportunity for traders to go ahead and look to trade it back down here. And you've got about an 83 pip opportunity. So if you're looking for short-term trading, you've got about an 83 pip short-term opportunity. Once we hit that 83, call it 85 pips. Once we hit the 85 pip low, right there at the around about 136.81, then we're going to start moving away from short in the market and start looking to actually buy the market. And that's going to be interesting to see at what time, or at least at what place, the market's trading at when we get the ADP numbers come out, and then also when we get the non-farm payroll come out. And so that's going to be real interesting as we're heading into Wednesday and into Friday's news as we go ahead and anticipate what's going to happen in the market. So if the market is absolutely below, if we are below that 136.81 level, I'm absolutely going to be thinking bullish at that point, specifically, or at least if the news comes out and the forecast is exactly what it is reported. If the numbers come out exactly what is forecast, and we're below that 136.81 level, it is absolutely, for me, going to be a buyer's market. Now, again, I'm not saying just go ahead and start buying in blindly, but look for signals based on the strategies that you follow. And based on that, you get buy signals below 136.81. It's absolutely, for me, going to be a buyer. All right. Now, let's go take a look at another currency pair. And I'm going to go into New Zealand. This is the New Zealand US dollar right here. And if I go to New Zealand US dollar, I'm seeing very similar. And that's why I say I'm seeing the same sort of look on all of the different dollar prices. And I can go to a lot more, but I'm not going to do that into this session. But I wanted to give you a sense of what I look for when I'm trying to decide on trading opportunities for the week. When I look at the market and I watch the news and I see the technicals and I see how they line up, I go ahead and cross-reference those with other pairs. And so as we go into the New Zealand US dollar right here, I'm seeing the same thing here. I'm seeing how the market has been range bound here. I see how price gave us a false breakout here, so we got a bear trap, and price came back in. So now what I'm expecting, because of this false breakout, I'm expecting price to actually continue to be bullish. Now let me go ahead and take a look right here. Now I'm going to draw in a fib all the way from the bottom to the top right here. And so when I look at this, again, I see the same sort of confirmation. If price trades below this level right here, what is price going to do? price is going to go ahead and chase after this low right down there. All right, and when it gets down to this and tests that support again, then we're going to go ahead and see a rally again. And so this is another pattern. It's called the irregular flat. So irregular flat, as I explained earlier on, it's when price goes into a retracement, takes out the high, doesn't sustain, and then comes back inside that high and low swing and moves into a deeper correction move. And that's what we're expecting right here. So when price takes out 69.33, it's a buyer zone for us. This is where you should be thinking buy, 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 buy. Again, go into your strategy and looking for the signals for buy signals only. Not saying going in blindly, but saying, hey, let's look for the signals, and then if the signals come up, let's go ahead and trade that. Okay? So making sure that you also do a cross-reference with the strategy you trade, because some traders have different types of strategies, and your strategy may not line up with an opportunity to buy straight away, but then rather to wait a little longer for that signal to appear. Okay? So here is the US dollar, the New Zealand US dollar right here. Now I'm going to go into one more last currency right here and take a look and see, because we also want to make sure that we're not just taking one or two, but we're looking at a range of different currency pairs to match it up. Let's take a look at another one that's really offering opportunity. Now, before I move into that, just another disclaimer here. I'm not saying that you cannot trade a short position. I'm not saying that you're only going to look for buys right now, because selling short right now is trading against the trend, but there might be traders out there that say, hey, you know what, big dog? I don't mind trading against the trend, because I can trade against the trend, make up some short profits while the market's setting itself up for that long-term move. And that's okay. If that's part of your strategy and part of what you do, there is the opportunity. The opportunities are there. Okay? They are definitely there. But I want to add this, though. If the market, and let's just take it a scenario right here. Let's say traders are starting to look to sell this market right now. Okay? And they're looking to sell it back below this level. You've got to keep in mind that this pair could go all the way up here to around about 70.91. So you've got to make sure that you have the capital to withstand that sort of drawdown and be able to keep yourself in the market in order to be able to have buying power, in this case selling power, to sell the market back down south, so that if you need to cost average on this trade, you've got the equity to do so. So keep in mind, anytime you're trading against the trend, all right, and if the trend continues to move against you and you're trying to trade that counter move, you need to have enough equity to be able to sustain that drawdown, so that when the market does go into that retracement, you can make money, get your break even, or get out of the trade if needed, because you have the equity to be able to ride that. All right. The last thing you want to do is you want to enter one trade and have this big 600-700 pip drawdown, and you can't get back because you don't have the equity to add into that position to narrow the gap between where you entered and now where your break even point's at. All right, you just don't want to be in that position, because that's how traders stick into trades for months and months and months, make nothing until they get to break even, and they've missed out on so many opportunities to be able to trade other stuff or other currencies because of the fact they've been stuck in that one position, because they never had enough equity to be able to trade other trade opportunities. So just be cautious with that, because you can turn a negative position into a positive position very easy with buying power. Without that, traders are going to struggle. All right, traders are absolutely going to struggle. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the last pair right here. I want to go ahead and take a look at is going to be, and I'm going to pull it up here. It's Aussie US dollar right here. All right, perfect. So let's take a look at the Aussie US dollar, and what we want to do here again, once again, just look at the technicals. We already know in our mind, based on what we've looked at, how we're anticipating the dollar to move. But let's see if the Aussie US dollar does set up the same sort of confirmation that we need. And again, I want to go into the daily time frame first. Always daily time frame. And the reason why I go into the daily time frame is because it's going to give me the best opportunity to make a decision on how I'm going to trade it. So if I go to the daily first, let's do that. Let's pop up the daily here. It's gonna give me my long-term sort of outlook right here. All right. So if I look over here, I can see that there was definitely a trend line break right here. That trend line is doing nothing for me right now, but I just want to go ahead and confirm that it did have a trend line break. What I also want to confirm is that we never took out that high, so I don't see any bull crown setting up right now. So this could be just a head and shoulders pattern, all right? Which means that if it is a head and shoulders pattern, then I may want to pay a little bit more attention to that low right here, because as price comes back, it's going to create a bit of support, as that's the left tip, that's the right tip. And then when I look at this right here, I'm going to dig into a little more details on the details right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look right here. So if I go to this and I draw a line from here all the way up, because I'm counting the waves going up, I'm going wave 1, 3, 5 up here. All right, and so now if I look at this right here from a long-term perspective, I can see, okay, price rallied up, came all the way up here to the 1.27, it's failed to hold there and has come back down again, and now we're looking to take out this low. All right, this is the low right here, price is looking to take out. When it takes out that low, we then are going to think bullish, and we're thinking price is going to go back up here to the 1.618. Now, for those traders that don't understand what I'm talking about when I talk about these wave structures, stick around. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. Smash the like button. Firstly, go ahead and smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel, because what I am going to do over the next few weeks and so, or next few weeks, months to go, I am going to be giving a little more educational lessons on exactly how I trade, how I identify these trades, how I look for these wave structures. What have I done to simplify Elliott wave that makes it easier for me to be able to identify trade opportunities using the Elliott wave sort of strategy. So I'm going to go ahead and explain that in other videos down the line. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of exciting things coming up next week as well, as I also talk about my trade copier and exactly how I trade. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to be able to join live sessions as I look at live trading opportunities based on that. And we'll talk about them, plus go ahead and give you out some live trades as well inside the live session. So definitely subscribe to the channel. You'll check out those details as soon as I go ahead and post them. Now back to the charts. Okay, so as we go to this right here, we're looking for the market to take out what I like to call the second wave low, which is temporary because now we're looking for price to move back. Now what I'm going to look for right here is I'm going to look at the shorter waves, and I'm going to try and figure out where the market's going to go down to. Now I'm looking for a 5-wave structure. So I'm going to go to this right here. I'm going to put in my wave, let's just go wave 1. Oops, there we go. So I'm going to put in my wave 1 right here. There's a big wave 1 right here. Then I'm going to go ahead and put in my wave 3. Wave 3 is over here. Oh, look at that. All right. So we had wave 1, wave 3, 1 to 7 right here. Price hit it. So guess what? Price is moving up to this level right here. All right. So if I go ahead and mark that off, let's do it on this one right here. This is my 4th wave right here. So if you see it right here, this is wave 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. Now price is looking to chase after this wave 4 up here. So if that's the case, then I should be thinking price is going to move up here. All right, it's going to go back up here to the top. So we should be bullish on US dollar, on Aussie US dollar. But hold a second here, traders. Remember something. The market also moves in waves on a lower time frame. And so although we're looking for the price to move up and rally up all the way up to that target, we know that we could have a correction moves on the lower time frame. So which means that the market could do this. All right, take a look here. The market could go ahead and do this. Go up, retrace, then go up, retrace, go up. It could do something like this, right? And so as I look into the details over here on the lower time frame, it's going to explain to me what I'm looking for right here. So let's go down to the 1 hour. And on the 1 hour, look at this. We got exactly the same thing. Here we have a nice little upward swing all the way up here to the top. All the way to the top right here. Prices come up all the way to the 127, 118, 127 right here. And so we're now looking for, if price trades below this level right here, guess what? If it trades below that level, then we'll be looking for price to take out that level. Because why? Because it's going to come into a deeper retracement. And then it's going to go ahead and move bullish. So in the short term, we may be expecting some stronger dollar that's going to push the Aussie US dollar back down south, take out the lows. When it takes out the lows, then it's going to turn around and head back up north as it goes ahead and fulfills the target on the daily. And the daily target is going to be up here. That's where the daily target is, up here. So there is going to be some dips and then rallies, dips and rallies as we look at the lower time frame. So what am I saying here is very simple. Okay, what I'm saying here is we're probably going to expect a little bit of strength in the dollar over the next few days as we head into I would say Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. There's going to be a turning point. It's going to be a turning point for the dollar where the dollar's actually going to lose ground. We're expecting dollar strength, then dollar weakness as we head into the end of the week, as we start the new week. So the following week, next week, totally next week, we're probably going to be thinking bearish dollar next week. But this week is the transition phase, right? Where it's now going to gain a little bit because there's a correction move in the dollar. So you're going to gain a bit of strength in the dollar. And then eventually you're going to weaken the dollar as we move to the end of the week. And I think the news that we have, ADP numbers coming out Wednesday, and of course the non-farm payroll coming out Friday, does make sense why these things are happening. So with that being said, traders, good luck with your trading this week. Focus on the dollar, see what the dollar does. We'll take a look at that again and do another update at the end of the week. Have a great week of trading. I'll see you next time.